Hello, and welcome to the Willow Rose Cottage. This morning, I'm in a bit of a quandary, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. My OCD brain cannot fathom this Pilates, a Pilates refrainer? To sit in my living room space. I think you could agree, it doesn't fit the aesthetic, does it? So now my decision is, where do I put it? I measured it. It's 7 feet by 2 feet. I didn't measure the height. I don't think that matters. There is not a space in this entire house, with the exception of where it's sitting right now, and I'm sitting on it. I've used it, by the way. It's fabulous. And if you're wondering why I bought this, you're probably not wondering. Why would you be wondering? It's pretty self-evident. But I've been having off and on injuries. Well, not off and on injuries. I've had 3 injuries in my wrist, my right wrist, stemming from work. Over the course of 3 years, I've had 3 surgeries. And during that course of the 3 years, I have gained weight, which I just have to say, I don't think I'm bothered by the weight gain. What I'm bothered by is the absolute stiffness of my body from not moving it. Part of what I'm not able to do is for the longest time, I couldn't even walk, because when you walk, you swing your hands, and that was detrimental to the healing process. No hiking, because if you are hiking and you stumble and you fall, I could create more injury. Also, no weights, so lots of things that you can't do when you have a hand injury. And so I have gotten to the point where I need to work out at least the rest of my body. And I've found or discovered or thought of a way where I could buy this Pilates machine, and then I can use it with my left hand to do the things I need to do, and with my feet and my legs specifically to strengthen my core and my back. I'm having secondary injuries in my back, not injuries, secondary issues in my back. I'm starting to get really, really stiff back muscles when I do try to move or do anything. So one of the things I'm trying to work on is loosening up those back muscles around my core, around my spine. And one of the best ways to do that is with one of these bad boys. So putting fitness first, fitness over decor. However, you might remember a while ago when I was discussing getting this, I was going to put it in the Marie-Antoinette room. Well, I'll talk to you about why that's not going to happen. I've now come into the Marie-Antoinette room. And I'm just going to give a quick tour of the Marie-Antoinette room to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I start talking about this. And please forgive all the clothes on the bed. Those are, I don't know, these are clothes I need to go through and figure out if I want to keep them and try to store them, donate them. I don't know what's going on with that. And these are a bunch of Afghans that I had purchased for my croning party. These are the ones I've decided to keep. I'm donating the other ones, and I've given a couple of them away to friends that really fell in love with the specific ones that I gave them. So this is my Marie-Antoinette room. And I haven't made the bed since Nikki used it. My friend Nikki was staying here for a bit. I'm not sure where that Marie-Antoinette pillow went. Maybe she tossed it off over on the other side. Anyway, I have a pillow of Marie-Antoinette. So anyway, back to my story at hand. So here's the rest of the room. So here's my dilemma. I can put my Victorian Feast dress away or work on it, do something with it. It's half finished. This is something that I started and I've never finished. It needs to be finished and worked on. But I'm going to wear the bottom half to the Witch's Walk on October 18th. But I have to work on this. Okay, anyway, so that either has to stay here or get put into deep storage. There is no halfway for that. Over here, I have the things on the walls can be taken down super simply. However, this is my work desk. This is a desk that I actually work from. Here's the stool that I use. The desk opens up like this. And inside of it is my laptop, my pad, my laptop, things that I work on. All my tools are in these areas. These are my files, obviously. My printer, everything from my printer upwards could be taken out, but what's the purpose? I don't need that space. I need this space. I noticed I dropped something. Let me pick that up. So with all of this being my functional space, I don't know what I'm going to do with the basket. Haven't decided just yet. I think I'm going to start using the basket as my shopping basket. So that's a whole nother story. I'm trying to not overspend on food that I really can't eat. I think I'm still spending for a family, even after 8 years of not having a family. I still way overspend at the grocery store. So I think that I'm going to start using that as my grocery basket. But back on point, clothes and Afghans aside, this I could just leave there because I probably don't need that space right there. And my thoughts were just to take the bed frame, and the mattresses and just push them up against that wall. Just take everything apart, push it up against that wall. So if I did that, I would have the space from about here all the way here to use. Now that I'm talking it out, that just might work. The problem I'm having is I can't put any of this in the barn. This was my bed. When I was growing up, this was my bed. So I have to keep it. There's something just very sentimental about it. It also has a really beautiful footboard. It's very, very old. It has these really beautiful sideboards, probably from the 1800s. And I can't get rid of that. Just too sentimental. But now that I'm talking it through, I'm thinking that would probably be my best solution. It would be very, very unattractive and very bothersome to me while I'm in here working out, but I'm almost thinking that. So I do have just a smidge of OCD. I'm not really, really bad, but things that aren't in place really bother me. Like, I have a lot of stuff. I do. I'm kind of a maximalist. I do love my stuff. However, every single thing I have has a place. And so it's really easy for me to stay organized. It's really easy for me to clean, but the Marie Antoinette room is causing me some anxiety because once I go ahead and pull down the bed and put it against the wall, am I just gonna live like that with the bed against a wall in a bedroom? Will I be able to go in there and work out without saying, I got to do something with this and doing something with this instead of working out? Oh my gosh, I just don't know. Well, I have a whole free weekend. I'm dedicating my entire weekend to figuring this out because this is really important to me that I pull myself together and start limbering up my body again. I'll tell you how. I don't know, that might be bragging. I don't know if I want. I'll tell you, and if you think it's bragging, then you can let me know if you thought it was bragging, and then I won't say things like this anymore. However, I wanted to say that at one point after I moved here, so it was recently, I went to a yoga class, and it was my first time at the yoga class, and so I went in, and I always sit in the back. I'm not that person up in front and center. I'm just going to be in the back. And so after the yoga class, the yoga instructor asked me to stay back. He wanted to talk to me. And I was like, God. high school all over again. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, oh my God. She's like, he's probably going to tell me your form is all wrong. You need to come up front where I can see you next time or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So all the students left and I held back, and he came over and he introduced himself, and I said yes and told him who I was and whatever. And he asked me, are you auditing my class? And I said, like, I didn't quite get what he meant. And I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean auditing your class? And he said, oh, I thought you were a yoga instructor, and I thought you were here to audit my class. And I was like, well, thank you for the compliment. So, anyway, I kind of use that as a marker of how fit and limber I was once was. And I want to get back to that point. That was obviously prior to my injuries and all that. So like I said, I'm not so concerned about the weight gain. It does feel cumbersome. It feels awkward on my body because I've never had this much weight on my body before. But, I'm okay with that. Just in terms of vanity or health even, I don't think it's unhealthy. I don't feel, bad about it, but I do feel bad about not being fit or limber anymore. So I have my little Pilates machine. I'm going to figure out a way to use it daily, and we'll see what happens. Stay tuned and stay whimsical.